Now it's time for our question and answer session. So may I invite all the presenters on stage? All right. So if anybody have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please address. We have 2 microphones over here. So could you please walk to the microphones because the room is kind of big. Okay. All right, any questions, comments, please feel free. Okay.
Thank you for our presentations. They were great. Actually, I have a couple of questions on communicative humor. I'm not quite sure whether I've missed something about the framework you have applied. You've talked about the relevant theory, right? I am wondering whether does it involve with some sort of linguistics? And how is it applied in analyzing the film? Could you elaborate more on the theory and its applications? Thank you.
You have the right point from relevant theory that I have brought from linguistic. So I have brought this into investigate from the dialogue in films, and code it. Because within the dialogues or within like the conversation among the character, there would be the set or like the connect, the contextual also. Is it clear?
Yeah. Actually, how does relevant theory help conveying the underlying meaning that you have drawn from your conclusion?
For this,
help,
yeah. For this theory, from after applying, so it shows some like the feasible assumption that can be indicated to the director intention or the message from the director that wants to convey to the audience. Yes. Is that clear again?
Yeah. Thank you.
The next.
All right. But I understand your point maybe because when you analyze film, it's not only the language itself in the film, because it are other elements in the film, the cinematography, the music, the way that the film presents to the audience.
Yeah.
So since 2 of you work on the film, maybe anything that you see like similarity of the analysis or differences? I mean, no, with Miss Yin as well, because you also work on film as well, right? So how you analyze your film? You look at the language as well, or you look at the other elements?
Basically, I look on the text itself first, and I realized that they were similar, and I looked to the internet about how people discuss about these 2 movies. So it's kind of one side from the text itself and the other from the consumption.
Because from what I understand, it's like when you look at film, it's not only the film itself, it's also the film industry and the audience. That like they have many ways that you can approach and the film present to the audience as well. Yes, interesting. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Then we have one. My question. Oh, still your time. My question would go to the first presenter. Since you mentioned, one part of your presentation mentioned that rap is real. So, yeah. What does it mean? I think you talked about that a little bit, but why?
It was said by some musicians who were heavily influenced by Indian music in Sri Lanka. Rap is not a music, but it's raping the beauty of music in Sri Lanka. That is how it became rap music is rape music, because the the tempo, the digitized nature of rap music was not accepted by the Sri Lankan musicians at the beginning. That's the reason to call it as rape music. That's what it is.
Yes, but in your title you mentioned that globalization and what is that?
Globalization.
Globalization. Yes. So globalization is kind of like because when you mentioned about rape is about power relationship between someone stronger and the weaker. And globalization is kind of like stronger, and you rape the weak one, which means maybe the first world or the third world if you have any. But when you mentioned about the second one, it means like the center is shift. You didn't look from the how can I say that? The weak, the strong one to the weak one, but you look at the weak to the strong one. I mean, maybe it's, from my understanding, it's like you mentioned about that. Maybe in the Sri Lankan music industry, they also adapt or do something, maybe not resist, but change in that way, in that the second one is that globalization. Yeah. Is that clear?
No, actually, can you repeat it, please?
Oh, because when you talk about globalization, the center is like maybe the stronger, the first world country or something like that. And then it spread to the
cultures.
Yeah. And when you talk about the globalization, the second one, it's like you shift the center into the local and then spread to outside.
Well, localization, if I simply put it, like adopting and changing the global things into the local reality, right? So, Sri Lankan, some musicians take the global element of hip hop, like rapping, into Sri Lankan context. They rap in Sinhala. If you have time, I can give you some example of a song.
It would be great. I would love to see that. Because I think back about Thailand as well. We do have that.
Example of so-called Sri Lankan hip-hop music. It's in Sinhala language, and the rap piece is also in Sinhala.
Alright, so it's like "Give Me Your Love" or something like that. No, what does it mean?
Sorry?
What does it mean? The song. What is the name of the song?
A Guinea a hot night.
Oh. Well, it's a great one. What kind of people that? What about the consumer who listen to the music?
Most of the times, urbanized youngsters, teenagers, youngsters, and especially those who are English speaking.
Oh, I see. Because it kind of like dance music, club dance,
Yes,
something
yes.
like that. Yeah. So I didn't have one question here. Please.
So I want to know is one thing is I know that the Sri Lanka is a Buddhist country.
Yes.
So that is like this is a rap songs, and then this song is like a pop song, right?
Yeah.
So anything affect anything this now is in the teenage the people like the music like that is everybody loves like the songs, right?
Not every one in the country, but most of the urbanized teenagers, especially who are living in the main cities like Colombo, Kandy, likewise. But when we go to the rural areas, people actually don't know about these things.
So you think it's this rap is coming grow up big?
In the sense of urbanized people, yes, but not in the other parts of the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Questions, yes.
Okay. Just following up on the hip hop music in Sri Lanka as well. It doesn't sound very hip hop to me. Or
Yeah,
rap
of
to
course,
me.
I know.
It's more like dance pop with some verses
Yeah.
in rap.
Yeah.
But is that called, the first question, is that generally called rap music as
Yeah.
such in Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
The second question is that I associate hip hop music with, the subaltern way of resistance, and it's coming from the black community, and trying to resist the dominance of other ethnicities or other classes. Do you see the same thing in Sri Lanka as well, or does it signify anything in that sense in Sri Lanka? Thanks.
Okay, the answer to your first question, of course, it's not rap in the sense of the original rap music. But that's why I said people want more music in a song in Sri Lanka, because they used to listen to more music in a song since, even before colonization. So when there is no music, they don't accept it as a song. So that's why they compress a rap into a very small part and have a lengthy melody in a song. So that's why this is called a rap in Sri Lanka, but not in other parts of the world. Okay, and the second one, the answer for your second question, there are some examples, or there are some songs that talks about, political and ethnic issues in the country. Like, now for example, there's a song called J-Town Story, which is about Jaffna, which is the area that is the majority of the people is Tamil. So, as you may know, Sri Lanka had a civil war since 1960s or some 30 years